Hello there and welcome to Roots from LNER. I'm Jenni Falconer.
I was like 18 or 19 and I just remember going into the O2 one night to perform it at the Brit Awards, going in with like 8,000 followers and coming out with like 80,000. They're one of the most magical places I've ever been to. I think I was there for 48 hours, was Necker Island, Richard Branson's island, and somebody had booked it for their birthday. Apparently the year before he had Lana Del Rey. So I was like, wow, okay. For the first year of my life as a musician, was just hectic. I was all over. There are some countries that I've been to that I couldn't tell you anything about, or if I've even been.
Backsy the window seat. Reserve your spot with our seat selector. Visit lner.co.uk. Hello there, welcome to Roots from LNER. I'm Jenni Falconer, and today on the show I'm joined by a guest who is a Brit Award winner, a Mobo Award winner, has had over 1.8 billion streams globally, has toured the world, and is about to release her second album. Please welcome Ella Eyre.
Hello.
So good, I like the build-up.
Yeah, thank you very much. I need to be reminded every now and again. That's great.
That's a big amount of streams there, 1.8 billion.
Yeah, when you
isn't
put it like that, it's cool.
It is good. Welcome to Roots. Do you like what we've
I
done?
love it here. Yeah, it's cool.
This is our very special carriage to Aberdeen.
I feel like I want one of these in my house.
I know, they're really good, aren't they? Well, we'll get to why we've requested Aberdeen a little bit later and why we're travelling there. What sort of passenger are you on a train?
I like to keep myself to myself. I'm not a chatty person, I can't lie. But don't get me wrong, every now and again somebody will get me and we'll have like an inspirational chat and I'll be really thankful for it. So, but generally I think because I travel a lot for work, it's the time to sort of like decompress and get stuff done.
So if you were reserving a seat, would you do like the table or would you go on the solo one?
Definitely a table. I feel like it creates a wall and it just feels a bit more open. So I love a table. I love being able to have the double length window, good views and facing forward.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those people that gets train sick if I go backwards. So I'm not fast.
I'm like that as well. And I like to kind of have my little barrier of stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, someone might be listening now and you might be setting up your table stack right now.
Yeah. To be fair, also, I love the table because my dog is a little French Bulldog, but he's quite nervous. So the table sort of just helps create like a cage almost, especially if I'm traveling with other people. So
do you take your dog on the train with you?
Yeah, sometimes, especially when I go, if I'm visiting people, I've got to take the dog.
How is the dog on the train?
Well, like I said, he's nervous. So he's fine and he's totally chill. It's just he doesn't like being approached by strangers like most of us. So it's challenging because he's a beautiful boy and people want to say hi and he does not want people to say hi.
I mean, that is a problem. If you're just as handsome as that, you
Yeah.
have to expect it.
Doesn't matter how many, signs or harnesses or leads you put saying, do not pet, nervous. People still want to say hi. Just friendly wild.
Well, look, it's so good to have you on Roots today. We have a load of amazing questions for you. I think if we start from when you were a kid and you were travelling a lot, because you did do quite a lot of travelling when you were younger.
Yeah, do you think?
Well, I think so. It sounds like you did. I mean, it sounns like you had this like cool gang.
Yeah.
No, what did you call yourselves?
The Wild Bunch.
You see, now who is the Wild Bunch?
So the Wild Bunch are 5 mums who met at antenatal class. And my mum, well, the story goes that she missed the last class and then she was giving birth to me in St Mary's Hospital in Paddington and she bumped into one of the mums. So she'd lost contact, but then by fate, they were giving birth at the same time. So we reconnected. And ever since then, every year, up until when we started to get into our teens and I went to boarding school, we went on holiday every year. So, but holiday, we'd go to Wales or, but then there's one trip that we went to Morocco and that was... Yeah, I was very young, but I remember a lot of it.
Do you have any siblings at all?
I don't. No, I have a half-sister, but she lives in Boston in America.
Okay. Well, then if you don't have siblings, I know I've got an only child as well. Sometimes when you go on holiday with other people, they've got friends to play with as well.
Yeah, it really did feel that way. Like I really wish I had siblings, but I'm very thankful for the Wild Bunch because I feel like that was my inherited family. It was lovely. Still is.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you actually did go and travel further afield. So what are your memories of those kind of like further afield holidays with the Wild Bunch?
With the Wild Bunch, we went to Morocco and we did a proper tour of it. We did the Atlas Mountains and I remember going over it with mules. And there was about, I think maybe 15 of us or so traveling together because obviously the mums had more kids. And so then there was a big group of us. And so it was very cool. We had our own little camp, our own little tribe, just going over the Atlas Mountains with the mules and all our stuff. And we slept in like concrete slabs in like on the side of the mountains, and I was really unwell. That's why I remember that, because I just remember having to be on a donkey. But it was amazing. And then we also went to the Sahara Desert. We slept in the desert for the night, and I just remember we played all these games. We wrote songs. We'd put on performances for the adults every night, and yeah, it was good fun. Very magical.
There is an element of truth, isn't there, in the fact that if you go on all these incredible holidays, they don't have to be fancy. They just have to be quite adventurous and about making memories when you're younger. It lasts with you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. But our brains were so stimulated all the time. It was quite a creative bunch. We've all ended up being quite creative people. So it was a really beautiful way to grow up and to share that with people.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds great. And then you did also travel in this country as well, with the same gang as well.
Same gang, yeah. We did like trips to Wales, get a big house, and we'd all just, play out in the garden. I remember there's a story that where one of the girls, Holly, she bit me on the face. I think we were about 6 or something, because we were all jumping off podiums trying to fly with leaves, and I think I pushed in front, or maybe she thought I pushed in front, and I got bitten on the face.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a story that comes out every Christmas.
Love that. Do you remember that time?
Do you remember that time when you
got
bit me in the face?
You've got to have these stories to remind people what they were like.
Yeah, I mean, it's really lovely as well to reflect on that and like what childhood can actually be like, because you're just wild.
Were you never bad then? It was always everyone else.
I was never malicious. I was mischievous. But no, I was definitely bad. Like, for sure.
Any naughty things that you could remember?
I remember drawing on the walls. But I think everyone has to do that at some point. But I remember, obviously, it wasn't my house, so it didn't go down too well.
Yeah. That's what I think when you're younger, you learn the art of drawing on the walls under the table. So hopefully they don't realise.
Yeah, so true.
I was going to wonder as well, when you were there and when you went off on all these travels, did you tend to be someone that did summer holidays, or was it kind of at different times of year?
I never did winter holidays. I only learned to snowboard about 8 years ago. And that was off my own bat. But my mum would never take me snowboarding.
Right. How's snowboarding for you? I think you're either someone who can get it or someone who just falls over. I am the latter.
I think it's just patience, like, because it clicks and then you love it and then it's great, but it hurts. And like learning, in my early 20s, I wish I learned when I was a kid, when you're a bit more fearless, because you just see these little nuggets just bombing down the mountain.
I know, and they're tiny. And they're so good.
Yeah, and they're fearless. It's just so sweet. I love it.
Are you quite into kind of health and well-being and fitness as well?
Yeah, definitely. I've always been active. I actually trained as a competitive swimmer when I was a kid. So
what?
like,
I didn't know this.
Yeah, my mum chucked me in a swimming pool when I want to say 2, but I always feel like that number sounds a bit far-fetched, but really young, because when I was in Jamaica, I'm half Jamaican, so spent a bit of time there, and I ran off up the beach one day, and then my mum, from that moment on, was really worried that I would end up drowning, so she chucked me in a pool as early as I could go, and then it ended up being my thing until I was about 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I did a lot of sports, and all my holidays, I would always have to be training and swimming as well.
Which stroke was yours?
Butterfly.
Oh my God, can you still do it?
Yeah.
Because I think it's a stroke obviously you were a professional and you did it at elite level.
Professional.
But if it's something you could do when you're younger, it's quite hard to do when you're older.
Yeah, for sure. I think because I also danced as well, and I quite liked the rhythm of it. I also knew that nobody wanted to do butterfly, so I had less competition.
Oh yeah, that's impressive though. That is a hard skill.
Yeah.
I mean, butterfly.
Yeah, it is tough, and to train it is tough as well, because you're doing it a lot, and it is a very strenuous activity. But yeah, I like the. I've always wanted to fly.
Has travel changed for you as you've got older? Because I mean, obviously now you travel for work a lot more. Do you get to have holidays as much anymore?
Yeah, I think actually the older I've got, the more I think it's important to make sure there's time for that. Because when I first started doing music, the first song I put my voice on went to #1 and I won a Brit. And then so for the first year of my life as a musician was just hectic. I was all over. There's some countries that I've been to that I couldn't tell you anything about, or if I've even been, because we'd be like waking up in Romania and going here. But like, you do the gig and then you're on to the next. And so I really learnt to slow down and enjoy where I am, because I want to make the most of that, because I realise that, you're not going to do that forever. So it's really nice to make the most of where you are.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's, as you get older as well, from when you're younger and you're going with like the Wild Bunch and all these amazing holidays to the point when you're doing these epic tours as a musician. Do you remember the first time you went away without your mum, without your friends, like on a holiday?
Oh yeah, actually, my mum used to ship me off to Italy every year for a month with my neighbour. So my neighbour had a daughter similar age to me, and she was Italian, and so they would go every year for longer than a month. So my mum would, drop me off at the airport. I'd get to Naples, hop on a train, and we'd end up in Calabria. So I guess I did. That was my main holiday, I would say, throughout my teens or like early teens.
God, you spent a month in Italy every
Yeah,
summer.
and I can't speak a word of it. It was such a waste.
How amazing.
Actually, I can count to 20.
Oh, can you? Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we can do some more in Italian if you want, or if you try. Okay, we'll just stick to English. I mean, that part of the world is absolutely stunning as well.
Yeah, and the food is fantastic. I'm a big, big foodie, so
Are you?
love to travel, love to eat.
Are you good at cooking as well?
I love cooking as well. Yeah, yeah. I'm a bit of a chameleon when it comes to cooking. I really just like to learn different styles, different approaches to it, and yeah, that's one of the best things about traveling for me.
It sounds like you have done a lot of traveling over the years.
Yeah, actually, yeah. When you said that at the beginning, I was like, really? But actually, yeah, I think it's because there's just so many places I haven't been that I would love to go to that I feel like I haven't
Like
traveled that
where?
much. I've been to Malaysia, but I'd like to go for longer. I would love to do Japan some more. I would love to do India. So many. I'd love to do South Africa. So yeah.
Have you not done South Africa?
I haven't done South Africa.
Oh my goodness,
No.
it's amazing. My brother lives there. It is fabulous. Well, you kind of like that vibe of music as well, don't you?
Totally. And I went to Ghana for January this year. I went the year before as well. My best friend moved there. So it's got a special place in my heart. I know West, South and West are different Africas, but yeah, going to Ghana has really like made me want to go and check out the Amapiano in South Africa.
Yeah. Well, you just have to kind of go and promo your music there. That's it.
Absolutely, I know.
Simple. I love the fact that you've done so much, and now obviously, you've been in music for quite a while now. Do you remember which year it was when you got your first break exactly?
God, I'm never good at recalling the exact years. I know that I was like 18 or 19, and I'd sung with Rudimental, been on tour with them. I'd recorded Waiting One Night, and yeah, I just remember going into the O2 one night to perform it at the Brit Awards, going in with like 8,000 followers and coming out with like 80,000.
Did it really happen like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just mind-boggling. It really did. I look back at that time as very much like a hurricane, because it was just, my life just was turned upside down in the best way, but I had absolutely no preparation for that whatsoever.
But then, I mean, obviously before that, you were at the Brit School, weren't you? So, I mean, did you get an indication that that was the direction you were going? Or when you go to the Brit School, I guess you don't know how it's going to turn out.
It depends what you go to the Brit School for, because I went to the Brit School for musical theatre. So
Oh, did you? Completely different?
Completely different. And that's because as a kid, I had a lot of energy. So my mum always had me in lots of after school activities. So I was dancing, I was swimming, I was learning the drums. Like I always had stuff going on. I was a busy kid with a busy diary. So I think I went into musical theatre thinking that that's what I wanted to do, because I had learned to dance, I'd done a bit of singing, and I could also maybe act, I guess. So I went in thinking that's what I wanted to do, but then I think that's where I sort of discovered that actually I wanted to be a solo artist. I realised that my voice was quite unique. It didn't really lend itself to musical theatre productions. Yeah.
I find that amazing that you were originally wanting to do that. Did you have a show that you thought, I want to be someone on stage?
Yeah, I mean, Lion King for me. I mean, that's, as a movie, it itself has always really informed my childhood, or at least reminds me of my childhood. So the theatre production of that is pretty magnificent. And I think also, because my hair was quite afro, like growing up, I didn't really feel like there were any West End productions that I resonated with as much, and Lion King really was that for me.
I mean, it's such an amazing show,
It's
isn't it?
beautiful, yeah.
Apparently, it's one of these shows in London that just sells out every single night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been going forever.
Yeah, I think 'cause it's just so artistic. You've got the giant puppets that don't look like average puppets that you sort of are used to seeing. They are just absolute works of art.
Yeah, and amazing music as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you obviously have always had a complete appreciation for music. So at what point do you go from going, right, I want to be Simba to kind of going down the path and thinking I want to kind of create my own music?
I don't think I ever stopped wanting to be Simba.
Okay, fair enough.
For me, it was when I was finishing Brit School. I only did 2 years there because I was doing like a sixth form course. And I'd say into the first year, I remember they have West End stars come in and talk to you about the realities of musical theatre. And I remember thinking, 2 performances a day, 7 days a week. Like, I feel like there's a much more creative freedom that I want. As much as I loved performing in that sort of structure, I also really loved singing songs that meant something to me and like being emotive and not necessarily being a character. I didn't want to be somebody else. I wanted to be myself. And that was the best place for me to figure that out, I guess. And so it was, yeah, about a year into studying musical theatre, I realised that actually the journey for me was probably a little bit more solo than that.
You famously did, right, 300 gigs in 365 days. Right?
Yeah.
What, how, where, when was that? Why did you do that?
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant earlier on when I was saying, there were times where I woke up in, countries that I wasn't even aware of where we were. And like, that's a really cool, fun thing to do. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I was absolutely shattered and I wish I was able to absorb it some more. But it was a very busy, busy time. There were some times where we were doing 2 shows a day and we just kept going. And it was a really lovely experience for me because I love touring. I love my band. We have a great relationship. And so you're just traveling with family.
Yeah. I mean, that's a complete whirlwind, isn't it? From when you started.
Yeah.
And then you said within the first year, all of that happened.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I feel quite detached from it now because it's been so long. It's been over 10 years since that time.
What was your mum saying the whole time?
When are you going to call me? Is what she would say. Because, like, even when I was at boarding school, I was really bad at phoning because I've always been quite an independent kid. I've just sort of like got up and got on with it.
Yeah. Can I ask where on your tours and on your travels, where are places in the world that you have been to that have been like standout? You would love to go back?
Oh, Japan. Without a doubt. Japan, I was there for 3 weeks. A friend of mine works at the F1 and I love the F1. Yeah, he's basically like, oh, what racetrack do you want to come to this year? And I was like, Japan? He's like, go on then. The most complicated place to plan for, especially when you've never been to that part of the world where your tour manager isn't planning your travel for you. So like it was a whole new experience for me. But by doing that, it meant that I really learned so much about the culture and about where I was going and what I was going for. And we managed to squeeze so much in. And it is just the most enchanting place in the world. I love sushi. I love the food. I love all the sort of like really late night scene that they have going on. There's a lot of jazz bars that were really fun to go to. And yeah, it was just... So it was like futuristic, but also super old school. It was amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Have you also been booked? Have you been taken to many places for like private gigs as well? Because this is where I always find that some people are booked to go to amazing parties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. To be fair, I would say one of the most magical places I've ever been to, but it's really hard to even believe that it was real because I think I was there for 48 hours, was Necker Island.
Oh, wow.
In the Virgin Islands. Yeah, Richard Branson's island. And somebody had booked it for their birthday for a week.
That's amazing. What do you want for your birthday? I'd like LNER to come and perform.
Yeah, and apparently the year before he had Lana Del Rey. So I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, I think it was his 41st birthday when I went. Beautiful place. It was like a holiday resort, but it was somebody's house.
If you go on holiday then, is that the kind of place you go? Are you like a beach, sunbathy kind of person, or are you more, let's go to Japan, let's go travel around?
I'm a bit of both, but I think I don't like to sit somewhere for too long. So like particularly because when I am busy, I do like to have a moment to, rest and recover. But then after a while I get itchy feet, so I like to be active, go up the mountains in Malaysia, or like I also do love, being a beach whale. One of my best friends, who's the one who moved to Ghana, we travel a lot together. We travel very well together. I think it's very important to find people that you're compatible with. And she's one of them. My boyfriend also, we're the perfect pair when it comes to traveling.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well, you need that. I mean, even like if you're sitting on a train, which, hello, you might be sitting on a train right now, and you want to make sure that the person that you're traveling with is someone that you can enjoy a 4-hour conversation with. So today, as you can see, we are on a train to Aberdeen. Have you been to Aberdeen?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your memories of Aberdeen?
Joyful, actually, because on tour we did Glasgow, I think we did Edinburgh as well. Aberdeen might have been the third. And I just remember being absolutely blown away by the crowd. It was the loudest, most engaged crowd I've ever experienced in my life. Yeah, I've always said it's the one that would be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah, it's a great city. The Silver City with the silver sands, that's whatever it's called. And I mean, it's great. It does take a while to get there, especially if you're coming from down south.
It does. I mean, that was one of my favourite things about touring, was being on the tour bus and just waking up somewhere.
So it's everything on a bus?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right, look, for the average person, we have no idea what a tour bus is like.
Okay.
So I want that kind of, explain to me what a tour bus is like?
The first thing is, there's a mad dash for certain bunk beds. You're either a top bunk or a bottom bunk kind of person. I like a bottom bunk just in case I roll out. That's never happened, but it's just a fear that I have. An eye mask, very important. Noise cancelling headphones, very important, especially if you're traveling with majority men. And my other must-have is a microwaveable egg poacher.
Right? Because you love eggs?
Well, I think when you're on the road so much and you're stopping at service stations a lot, and this is 10 years ago as well, so there weren't a lot of options on the road.
Oh my God, it was all unhealthy as well.
Incredibly unhealthy. And so we had to get very creative with what we would eat on stops. And so I, in the end, found this microwaveable egg poacher on... Actually, I think I found it at a service station. And then I was able to have 2 poached eggs with some avocado and some toast, because there's a toaster on
I
the...
I feel like you were ahead of the egg toast curve.
Yeah, tour hacks, yeah.
Okay, so hang on. We have snacks here. I'm going to put you to the test. So
Okay.
this is LNER snacks. We have some chocolate brownies. We got some crisps. I mean, which of those would you be taking?
I'm a crisp girl. I love a crisp. I love a salt and vinegar. But I also love a biscuit. Especially love a hot chocolate to dip my biscuit in. And fruit if there's any fruit going.
Okay, just to balance
Just
things
to
out.
balance out a little
Just to
bit.
go, hey, I am having also an apple.
Yeah.
It's interesting as well, and I hadn't necessarily always realised this, but if I am now making you feel hungry because we're talking about snacks, there is a QR code right there on your seats, and you can see which snacks there are, and you can order them to your seats. You don't have to get up.
Is that real? Wow.
You don't even have to get up and go and get them. You can have them brought to you.
That's actually really handy for me.
Are you kind of quite lazy? Once you're sat, I'm not moving.
If I have the dog, I can't leave him anywhere, and I also don't want to chance it by having to walk through all the aisles with him, because everyone's just like, oh, look.
What's
I'm like,
his
please
name?
don't. He's called Iggy.
Iggy. Oh,
Yeah.
how old is Iggy?
He's 5. He's got one eye.
Oh,
I know.
Iggy one eye. One-eyed Iggy.
Yeah, don't mess with Iggy.
Absolutely. I've heard that you take travel outfits very seriously. Is this true?
Oh, I'm embarrassed I said that now. I like it to be effortless.
Okay, right. So put it this way. Have you got one outfit that is your go-to? And say, right, tonight you're going on a long journey. What are you going to be putting on for said long journey?
Layers. Definitely layers. Like, I've layered now, I've got jeans and a skirt on. So I think because you can never be too sure about the aircon in these spaces. Could be too much, could be too little. So I like to make sure that I'm never going to be too hot, too cold.
I always have like a scarf folded up just in case for that air conditioning thing.
Yeah, that's
And
smart.
a pillow. Would you go into a quiet coach, or would you be in the noisier one where you can use your phone?
I don't know why anyone wouldn't go in a quiet coach. Like, I remember being in a quiet coach once and someone having an incredibly exposing conversation. I was just like, God, like, am I being punked? Because, like, this is so mad.
Yeah, I think some people are just so relaxed they forget they're actually on public transport.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, especially when I got my bag of goodies.
I mean, obviously you've done a lot of touring in the UK.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to have like a mini break every now and again, or just go and have a staycation somewhere in the UK?
Oh, so important. And it's really cool that we have so many great places in the UK to visit. I'd love to go and do some like hiking in Scotland.
That's good. I recommend that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I need to wrap up a little bit more. I'll just get my ski gear out. But I've always loved the idea of it.
Can I just say, we do have some nice days up there.
Oh,
okay?
no, I believe you. I think I've seen 1 or 2. But I actually quite enjoy camping. I haven't really done it so much as like in a sort of campsite, but I love going to a festival and camping as well. So I do love being out in the outdoors, and as much as I do have my creature comforts, I don't mind roughing it as well. So
I love this. I love camping at a festival.
yeah, in a teepee with hot water
And a double bed.
No, I like putting the tent up and doing the blow up bed and having your little village of people.
Camping is fun.
Yeah.
And there are some amazing places to go camping in this country as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely, exactly. Only thing is the weather. Because
you have to be flexible.
Yeah, you don't want to be heading up to Scotland in the middle of a storm.
Have you ever got to the point where you kind of think, right, I literally can't think what to write and what to do? And if that's the case, what would you do?
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, when that happens, I just leave the studio, because if it's not going to come, it's not going to come naturally. But I think it's quite nice to when you're writing in sort of different countries. I've done a few writing camps in Korea and Thailand, but one of my favorites was Jamaica. I feel like it's incredibly important to be inspired by your environment, and it's not always possible when you're in England. And I was lucky enough to go to Jamaica and to write for my project with some of my favorite writers and producers.
So when you say a writing camp,
Yeah.
for a non-music person like myself, what do you mean writing camp? Is it like lots of people turn up and they're like, hey guys,
There's no
today's
TVs.
writing is...
No, it's basically it's a camp because we're all sort of under one roof, or in the same sort of vicinity, and you're there to write, you're there to work. So every single day it might be, you might do 2 sessions a day, you might just do 1, but you're put in a room with 2 or 3, maybe 1 other people. Some people might be musicians, some people might be producers, some people might be singers, and you're just there to create. And sometimes you're there for a purpose, for an individual artist, or sometimes you're there for like a more broader spectrum. I just did a camp in Korea, and that was amazing. A K-pop camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you learn different styles of music when you're doing that as well then?
Yeah, I guess so. Although I think basically I stay within sort of my realm, which is like sort of the pop soul areas. But yeah, sometimes it does cross over as well. I mean, I do a lot of dance music too.
God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I can see that. I would go and like, hey guys, I've got this amazing idea, and everyone would just go,
Yeah.
no, maybe not.
I think there's something to be said for writing abroad, to be honest, because actually some of my favorite songs I've written in some really, really cool places.
So then when you hear that song, if you're in the car and the radio comes on, do you think about where you wrote it as well? Does that come back to you?
Yeah. I mean, I think most songs have, come with their own very significant memory. Well, Rain in Heaven, actually, I wrote in, which is a song that's on my next album, is a song that I wrote in Jamaica. And my dad was Jamaican and he passed a few years prior. And when I went to do that camp, it was the first trip back to Jamaica since he passed. And I was there with all my favorite people having a really beautiful, wholesome time. And the weather was fantastic, except this one day. And we woke up. And every day when we were waking up, we were going, oh, good morning, we're in paradise, another day in heaven. And when we woke up on the day when it was raining, and my co-writer said, oh, well, it still rains in heaven. And that was where the inspiration for that song came. And I don't know what song we would have written that day if she hadn't have said that. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But also from a listener's point of view, your songs, we associate with different things as well. Like for me, Came Here for Love, for instance, is kind of a bit of a summer anthem for me. So, and it was something that reminds me of a holiday I went on because it was playing all the time where we were. So it's nice though that songs mean different things to different people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that song is also about, a relationship breaking down. And I don't really resonate with it in that way because of my experience. I was having this really beautiful spiritual time in Jamaica, reconnecting and, feeling closer to my dad. And there I am writing a heartbroken song. But it was, really beautiful juxtaposition.
Let's talk about the album.
Okay.
Because when you are releasing an album, obviously you've put so much work into it. It must be quite an exciting time for you right now.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous?
I don't know about nervous. I definitely think like the sleepless nights have increased. Not necessarily sleepless nights, but I'm definitely up at night thinking a little bit more about things. But more from like wanting to make sure that I've thought of every angle and done everything I possibly can, because it's the first album that I've released in 10 years.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
But you've been releasing music.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I realised you hadn't released an album for 10 years, I actually couldn't believe it. But she's had loads of music out.
Yeah, well, the climate changed. When I first started releasing music, Spotify didn't exist. Streaming wasn't a thing. And so in the time that I've been around, it really has. And so labels, approaches to releasing music changed. Making albums wasn't really the done thing because it cost a lot and didn't get a lot back. But I realised that that's how I, love listening to music. That's how I really connect with an artist and find artists that really resonate with me, is when you're listening to a body of work that's representative of the area that they're at creatively. And I definitely felt like it was important for me to have another era and another stab at it.
Okay, so what is this era about then?
This era about, well, to be honest, because I started so young, my first album came out, I think I wasn't 20 yet, but I signed to my record deal when I was 16, straight fresh out of the Brit School. And I don't really feel like I had a huge amount of time to develop who I was as a person, who I was as an artist and what I wanted to say. And I definitely had a lot of essences of that. But then you're being swept up in the hurricane of it all and you're releasing, and, there were a lot of cooks in the kitchen at that point. And so for me, this album is very much about taking ownership back in every way. You know, I'm an independent artist now. It's very scary and daunting. There's a lot more that goes into it. But the reward is also greater too. And I really enjoy having creative control over everything. And you know, the album's called Everything in Time because it's taken time to get here, but not just time, lessons, and also, a lot of lessons that I've learned along the way.
I've heard a few of the songs.
Okay.
I love Hell Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I love that record too.
I mean, do you enjoy the kind of creative element of making music?
I love it. I really do. I think particularly when I had vocal surgery in 2020, and that was when I sort of decided to scrap the music that I was making with the label that I was signed to, because I just felt like if I was ever going to sing again, because it was such a traumatic experience I couldn't speak for a month.
You must have been so worried though that,
Yeah.
do you get worried that it's not going to come back?
Yeah. I'd never had anything like it before. I'd had the surgery and I was told I wasn't allowed to speak for a month. But I remember after a month going into my speech therapy session and she's like, right, we're going to see where you're at. Just say, hey, how are you? And I went, nothing came out. And even so, a month after, you know, having the surgery, nothing was happening. I knew that was a possibility, but then it was going to be 6 months until I was fully back to health again. And obviously I am, but it's at the time really hard to imagine. So I was listening to the music that I was making and I was just like, I don't resonate with any of this. And I don't want my legacy to be this. And so I just scrapped everything and said if I was ever going to make an album again, it was going to be on my terms and it was going to be an album that I wanted to make. And that's what Everything in Time is.
Oh, wow. And with this, you're going to do a little tour as well?
Yeah, there's going to be a little tour in December, an acoustic one in cathedrals.
Oh my
It's
God,
gonna
I
be,
want to be at this. It
yeah,
sounds
you should
great.
come down. It's going to be really beautiful. I love doing acoustic shows as well because I really do just love to sing. And a lot of my records have a lot of production on. There's a lot of bells and whistles. And this is a really nice moment to strip everything back and to, you know, be in a much more intimate environment with, you know, OG airheads and new fans along the way as well. And, you know, we're going to be surrounded by candlelight and it's going to be really beautiful.
I've got to say where you're going to. You're
Yes.
going London, Liverpool, Manchester and Edinburgh. And the venues are, you said they're quite special.
Yeah, especially the one in Liverpool. I've been there quite a lot recently, and every time you come out of the station, there's this great big, you know, beautiful museum-like hall, and that's where it's going to be.
Yeah. And obviously these are all very small little cities that don't have amazing nightlife afterwards.
Exactly.
It's like you've really chosen good places to go out.
Well, I'm on best behaviour when I'm on tour, actually, but my last night is in Liverpool, so it's going to be a good one.
Okay. Are you quite good at being disciplined when you're working?
Yeah, especially, you know, given my vocal issues in the past, I had to take it incredibly seriously. And I do, you know, I love to sing and I don't like letting people down and cancelling shows. So when I'm on tour, I'm in bed by 11, I've got my egg poacher and, you know, off to the gym in the morning.
Oh, it's been amazing chatting
Hi.
to you. Thank you for being a guest on Roots. Thank you for telling us all about your journeys and travelling over the years. Ella's new album, Everything in Time, is out on Friday, the 21st of November. And if you like what you heard today, why not rate and review wherever you get your podcasts? Make sure you give us a follow too. And look out for Ella's Quiet Coach episode, which will drop next week. We'll hear about her travelling snacks, tracks and hacks and which places have inspired her and changed her. We will see you then. Skip the roadblock for Snooze O'Clock. With LNER, it's freedom all the way. Roots from LNER is a Distorted production.